This Switch Lite cost me just $20. Here's how it happened. I found it on Marketplace. The listing said that it wouldn't turn on and it was being sold as is. I figured worst case, it really is dead and I can just resell it for more than $20 anyways. There was basically no downside to it. So I get home, plug it in, and I can hear the console sound and everything running in the background. The touchscreen was responding. There's just no picture. I open it up and the screen's ribbon cable had come loose. I reseated them, closed it back up, and bam, a $20 Switch Lite in amazing condition, and it works flawlessly. Alright, so Nintendo just confirmed that they are pulling the original Switch, the Lite, and the OLED from retailers in February 2027. A lot of people saw that headline and panicked, so let me clear things up. That's Europe only. Nintendo came out afterwards and told IGN that they're gonna keep selling the Switch 1 hardware everywhere else. It's an EU battery and right to repair thing. The sealed battery in the Switch 1 doesn't meet the new rules. It's not because nobody's buying them. But here's the part that actually matters if you're buying something this month. The Switch 2 goes from $449.99 to $499.99 on September 1st. And that's worse than it sounds. Right now, $500 gets you a Switch 2 bundle with one of the 3 first-party games of your choosing. After September 1st though, $500 gets you the console. That's it. The same price, just one last game. So if a Switch 2 is anywhere on your list, that's a good deadline to make your decision by. Quick note, every price in this video is in USD. I own all of these. My OG Switch is with my brother at college right now, but I've been using each of them for a very long time. And I'll tell you up front, my number one Switch is the Switch Lite. I know, that's gonna annoy some of you, so I'm gonna work up to it. Starting with the one I genuinely cannot recommend. This one. And look, I actually love this thing. The screen is gorgeous, it's the best looking Switch 1 screen by a mile, and it's not even close. But it's $400. It launched for $350 back in October 2021, so it costs $50 more than it did almost 5 years ago. And what you're getting for that money is the exact same internals as the Lite and the original Switch, hardware from 2017. That's almost 10 years old now. Yes, the screen is bigger, it's OLED, it's amazing, but it's not sharper. It's the same 720p resolution as every other Switch 1. But here's what actually kills it for me as an option. Right now, the Switch 2 is only $50 more than this thing. $50. That's less than one first-party game. For $50, you get an entire generation of hardware, and after September 1st, that gap is $100, which is still basically almost nothing on a $400 console. Now I want to be fair, because there is one person who should buy this. If you need to play on a TV, you're on a strict budget, and that extra money is genuinely not there, maybe a first console for a kid. Although I could also argue that the Switch Lite is a better buy for a kid, family living room situation, and if the Switch 1 library was all you were ever gonna play anyways, I'm not gonna pretend that those buyers don't exist, but I would still never recommend paying full price for it. If this is actually your pick, look for a good deal or a used OLED. And also, don't assume that the OLEDs are about to get cheap just because it's being discontinued in Europe. It could go the other way once European supplies dry up. These actually might get more expensive. And by the way, everything I said goes double for the regular Switch. Same internals, worse screen, and it's not that much cheaper for retail. If you're gonna buy 9-year-old hardware for full price anyways, at least get the good screen. Alright, so let's talk about that $50. On paper, this is the easiest recommendation in the video. It plays every Switch 1 game, most of them even better than the Switch 1 ran them. Plus, there's a handheld boost mode, so day one, you've got that entire 10-year library running improved. And on top of that, the Switch 2 exclusives are landing constantly. The third-party support is actually there this time. Cyberpunk, Resident Evil, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Pragmata, and many more. And I actually want to defend Nintendo on this price for a second, which is not a sentence I ever expected to say. Every console has gone up since they launched. Here's the total damage. Switch 2, $50, from $450 to $500 on September 1st. The PS5 disc model is $150 more, $500 at launch, $650 now. The Xbox Series X, $300. Launched at $500 back in 2020, went to $600 in May 2025, $650 that October, and it hits $800 on August 1st. That's a 60% increase. And the Steam Deck, launched at $399, Valve killed the LCD model entirely, so the cheapest deck you can buy now is $789. The entry price nearly doubled in 4 years. Yikes. But $50, that's how much Nintendo is increasing theirs. And yeah, before someone says it, the Switch 2 is the newest console here, so it's had the least time to go up. That's fair. It's still the smallest increase by a massive margin. And even after September 1st, it's still the cheapest current gen console you can buy, even while being the newest. So real quick on why, because this isn't just companies being greedy, it's the memory. Microsoft straight up said console storage and memory costs are going up 2.5 times, and that they expect that to double again by late 2027. AI data centers are buying up all the DRAM and outbidding everyone. Nintendo's filings say the same thing. Consoles get hit hardest because they're usually sold at a loss to begin with. And moving on from the price, my biggest problem with the Switch 2 is that it's enormous. Just look at this thing compared to the Lite. It's a massive difference. This is not your throw in your bag console, it's pretty heavy and big. I've also got the Skull & Co Neo Grip on mine, which honestly helps a lot with comfort, and handheld boost makes games look incredible on this screen. And I still don't grab it. And one more thing to budget for. It needs microSD Express, which costs noticeably more than regular microSD cards. And this isn't just a problem for digital games anymore. Nintendo's been shifting to game key cards for bigger releases. So the cartridge is basically just a key and the actual game downloads to your storage, which means even if you buy physical, you're still gonna need that space. So factor that in. If you're playing mostly docked, this is your console, and you want it before September 1st. But if you're like me and you're playing in handheld 90% of the time, it's this. Every time. Not the powerful Switch 2 or the beautiful OLED, it's a smaller, more compact Switch Lite. And yes, it doesn't dock, I know that. That's the entire point of it. But here's something that no one wants to admit. When I'm lying on the couch or I'm heading out the door and grabbing a console along the way, this is what I pick up. Not sometimes, every single time. And the other two have bigger screens, brighter screens, better screens. Objectively, I'm not arguing that. And yet they still lose. Because when you're actually holding a console for 2 hours straight, comfort beats specs, and it's not even close. This thing is 277 grams. The Switch 2 is 534. You're carrying just over half the weight, and it's still a full Switch. That's basically the same weight as a 2DS. That's the part that gets me. A 2DS with the full capabilities of a Switch. And it's not compromised. It's the same hardware as its Switch 1 siblings. And it's light enough that you stop noticing it. You get 20 minutes into a game and you've forgotten you're holding anything at all. That's what the spec sheets don't tell you. And to top it off, there are almost 10 years of Switch 1 games. If you have a backlog, which you probably do, everyone does, you're not running out of things to play on this anytime soon. So if you want a dedicated handheld and you're not chasing Switch 2 exclusives yet, this is the one. $230 new, and you can find it way less than that used. Probably anywhere from $80 to $100, or even cheaper like me. Which brings me back to where I started. Because honestly, the best Switch to buy in 2026 is probably a used one. So here's what to check when you're buying used. For the Lite especially, sticks and buttons. Test them every time. On a regular Switch, if a controller starts acting out, you can just pop it off and replace it. On the Lite, the controls are baked into the system, so you're opening it up and fixing it yourself or paying someone else to. That's why you want to know everything works before money changes hands. Take your time and check it thoroughly. You'd rather spend a few extra minutes than end up with a repair job you didn't sign up for. And lastly, broken doesn't mean dead. That's the whole reason I opened this video the way I did. A huge number of won't turn on listings are a loose cable or a dead battery. If you're even slightly willing to open something up and look inside, there are deals out there that people are basically giving away. So here's the quick version. If you don't care about Switch 2 exclusives, buy the Switch Lite. Buy it used. You can get a fully functional Switch for around $100, probably even less, that can play 10 years worth of games. If you're mostly playing docked with some handheld and you want the best performance and future-proofing, the Switch 2 is your go-to. Before September 1st, it's $450, otherwise you have to shell out an additional $50. If you're on a budget but you need to dock and want that OLED screen, and you don't care at all for the Switch 2 library or future-proofing, OLED, but only used or on sale, I just cannot justify the price it retails for. And if you don't care about the OLED handheld screen, but just want the cheapest way to dock, get a used regular Switch. It's the most common one on the market, and you'll easily be able to find a good deal for it. And keep these two dates in your head. Switch 2 goes up September 1st. Switch 1 leaves European shelves February 2027. Alright, if you guys agree or have different opinions, be sure to tell me in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more, be sure to subscribe.